and I'm honored to be your guest today on Play and Learn with Dr. Susan. She is celebrating some Thanksgiving times with her family, so we're here to stand in. This is my son, Maverick Adams, and today we're going to read a book called No Matter What by Debbie Gliori. This book is super special to us because we used to read this book to Maverick when he was a baby. Oh, I get emotional. When he was a baby, we used to read this book to him. And our craft is going to be around this book as well. So, I'm excited to share with you today. And we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to turn our book on. No Matter What by Debbie Gliori. Small was feeling grim and grumpy. What is the matter? You can see he is feeling pretty bad. He's got a bucket on his head in the corner. I'm sure you've felt that way many times too.
I'm grim and grumpy, said Little Small, and I don't think you love me at all.
Oh, Small, said Large, grumpy or not, I'll always love you, no matter what. Now today we have our Omi in Germany watching, and you might hear me say a little bit of German, and I'm going to tell her right now that what this book is about is, egal was passiert, ich liebe dich.
If I were a grumpy grizzly bear, would you still love me? Would you still care?
Of course, said Large. Bear or not, I'd always love you, no matter what.
But if I turned into a squishy bug, would you still love me and give me a hug?
Would you hug a squishy bug?
No.
Of course, said Large. Bug or not, I'd always love you, no matter what. Egal was passiert, ich liebe dich.
No matter what, said Small with a smile. What if I were a crocodile?
I'd still hold you close and snug and tight and tuck you up in bed each night.
But does love wear out? Does it break or bend? Can you fix it or patch it? Does it mend?
With time together, a smile and a kiss, love can be mended with things like this. You might remember sometimes maybe when you were angry or sad or mad in a bad mood and your mommy or daddy or grandma and grandpa made you feel better just with a smile and a kiss.
But what about when you're far away? Does your love go too, or does it stay?
That's a great question. Look up at the stars. They're far, far away, but their light reaches us at the end of each day. And just to translate a little bit in German here. Egal wo wir alle sind, die gleichen Sterne leuchten immer auf uns herunter. And what that says is the same stars are shining down on everyone. So even though you're far away, we're all looking at the same beautiful stars. It's like that with love. We may be close, we may be far, but our love still surrounds us wherever we are. The end. Now, what we would do as a family every night when we read this to Maverick, since he was a little tiny baby, we would now point out to every star, and we'd touch it, and we'd say, Gute Nacht to someone we love. Well, we speak German in our house, so Gute Nacht in English is good night. So we would say, good night, Omi, Gute Nacht, Omi, good night, Uncle Marcus, good night, Uncle Chris, good night, Auntie Heidi, good night, whoever it is that we loved, whoever we wanted to say Gute Nacht to. So tonight we might say, Gute Nacht, Johannes. Gute Nacht, Liliana, our two cousins who are watching today. So I hope you enjoyed that book. It's definitely one of my favorites. Do you remember us reading it to you all the time?
No.
So anyway, like we said, we like to give shout outs to people when we would touch all the little stars. And that's how we would tell them we would love them. We say, I would love you, good night, even though they're not right next to us and they might not be right in front of us. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make ourselves
Stars.
some stars. You know, in the book, they had the little star shine, the way she painted it with watercolor paint, and had the star right on top. So we made a few samples, and you can take these stars and you can hang them up on your ceiling, or we'll show you a couple other ways to do it. So you're just going to use a couple of a couple of household things. So I took a plastic cup. It can be any cup, any shape. It can be a circle, but it can be any size. And basically on the piece of paper, it's just a white piece of paper. I put the cup down and I trace around the cup. Just with a pencil. Just trace around it and you get a perfect circle. You can see that perfect circle. And so I made a couple of those. So usually you can do a whole page at once. Make all your circles. And you don't have to do this now. You can just watch this and you can do this later. So once I have all the circles on the page, you will see all the circles that are on the page. I then take a color. So I want to have yellow stars. I happen to have yellow paper. You can use whatever color paper you have at home. And what I did is to get that on the colored paper, I took the same exact cup and I put it down onto the yellow paper and trace it. And once I trace it onto yellow paper, I have the exact same circle. Show you here. Exact same circle on the yellow paper. And now, just stand back a second. And now I'll show you what you do inside that circle is you make a star. So I don't know if you know how to make a star, and your mom or dad probably does. You just go up and down like a triangle, back up, across, and back down to the first point. So up, down like a triangle, back up, across to the other side, and down to the first point. And you have a perfect star. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut around the outlines of the star. So you can make a page of those as well. I actually pre-did that. It's on this side. And then you're just going to grab your scissors, and you're going to start cutting out your circles. So you start cutting out your circles. And you can do as many as you want. Think of all the people that you want to say goodnight to every night when you go to bed. The people that maybe live far away, the people that maybe you haven't seen in a long time. And right now, since a lot of us have to stay home and we're doing the lockdown for the coronavirus that's going on right now, this is the perfect time that you're not seeing people. It's the perfect time to say, I love you and good night or gute Nacht to that person every night. Even though you think they don't hear you, they're still getting that love that you're sending. Then I go to the yellow paper and I start cutting out my stars. And I'm cutting out my stars. And who are you going to make a star for, Maverick?
Johannes and Omi.
I am going to make one for Liliana. And I'm going to make one, excuse me, I have to sneeze. And I'm going to make one for our friend Johanna in Germany, who's watching right now. Hello, Johanna. Hello, Lily. Hello, Johannes. We miss you. So once you've got your shapes cut out, you make as many as you'd like. Now is when you start decorating them. So you can use crayons, you can use paint, you can use markers, whatever you happen to have at your house. I made a couple already. I just used some watercolor paint and some crayon. And I just decorated both sides. If you're going to hang your stars up on the ceiling, you're going to put a piece of painter's tape or that earthquake hold glue stuff and stick it right to the ceiling. You want to make sure you have probably your parents do that because you probably can't reach the ceiling. And you're going to tape it up there. Then you don't need to do both sides. But if you're going to hang it, where I punched a hole,
And you
you're gonna
don't want
hang
to
it
do
from a
anything
ribbon.
dangerous to try to get to the ceiling.
Oh, very good. Thank you for that. Then you can punch a hole and you can hang it. And so in that case, you want to do both sides. So whichever you decide. So you go ahead and you color up your, I use these little watercolor paints. I think a lot of people have these. Move your thing. Move your thing. I think a lot of people have this kind of watercolor paint. It's really easy to get. You can probably get it on Amazon pretty simply. If you don't want to go out right now, since that's not a good idea, stop the spread of germs. And I just basically very quickly and simply put a couple colors on and swirled it. You can do it however you want. There are no rules in creativity, so you can do it however you want. And then if you want the paint to dry quickly, you just take a paper towel and you push down, and then it'll dry pretty fast, and you can do the other side right away. So once you do that, and you have your colorful circle, you can pick your colored star, and basically I just glued it on with a glue stick, whatever kind of glue you might actually have. Just glued it down. I didn't even use that much glue, just put it in the middle. And stuck it right in the middle. And so now, of course it's not working because that paint is a little bit wet. So now once I glue it down, I have my star on my color. And I just took a Sharpie marker and I wrote someone's name. So I am doing Liliana? So I'm going to write Lilyanna for my cute little niece, Liliana. And I'm going to say, woohoo, Liliana star. And then if I'm going to do both sides, I can write something nice, something that I love about Liliana on the back. And one thing I love about Liliana is that she loves art. She's very artistic. And she's very sweet, and she has a nice smile. So I wrote all those things on the back of Liliana's star. Then I can punch a hole in it. I can take myself a little ribbon. This is like ribbon you would use to like wrap a present. But you can use whatever you have on hand in the house. And I tied it at the top. Well, actually we came up with a good idea. Either you can tie it and hang it with a thumbtack like on your ceiling, or if you don't want to hang anything on the ceiling, Maverick and I came up with a good idea. You can hang it on a hanger. You can hang a whole bunch of them on a hanger and hang it up somewhere that you can see when you're saying your Gute Nachts or your good nights to all the little shining stars in your life. So you can hang it up on there, and you can keep going. You can hang each one on this little hanger. So let's see, who will we do next? Let's see. We've already made one for Cousin Logan and Cousin Brooklyn and our very special Grandma Ruth. And Maverick, who are you making now? Johannes. And you think about all the people that you miss right now, and you can think about all the people you wish you could hug right now. And those are the people you want to make the stars for. There's definitely a lot of people I wish I could hug right now. I'm happy that I can hug Maverick right now, since we live in the same house. So then I am making, whose else am I making? Am I making Johanna? So I'm going to take, who are you making right now, Maverick?
Johannes.
You made Johannes? Show it to the camera. Johannes. Cool. Are you going to write some words about him on the back?
No, I'm just going to leave the back blank for this one. For mine.
You're going to hang yours on the ceiling. And I made Johanna. kind of funny, we have a lot of this Johannes, Johanna, Aunt Joanna, Johanna at our church. We have lots of people with this same name. So we can say Gute Nacht to all of them, and we have a star for each and every one. So on Johanna...
Did you have 2 of those?
Yeah. What? 2 of what?
Why'd you make 2 of these?
Oh, that was one I had pre-made. Since I'm hanging mine up on Johanna, I'm going to write... Well, I have to decorate the back of hers, actually. And I'm going to write... On the back of hers, I know that she loves dragons. And she's also helping Maverick learn German. So I'm going to write German. And what else will I write about her? She's funny. So I'm going to write funny on there. And then I will punch my hole. And cut my ribbon. And like I said, you can just make it like hanging. You know what actually could be fun, since it's kind of close to Christmas time, you could even hang these on your Christmas tree.
You could, yeah.
That would be pretty cool. It's like you'd be making ornaments out of the star shines that you're saying Gute Nacht to, and you could see them every single day. You could not even just say Gute Nacht, you could say Good morning, which in German is Guten Morgen. You could say I love you, which in German is, what is that in German? I love you.
Ich liebe dich.
Ich liebe dich.
Oh no.
So that one could hang on our hanger too. I tied it already though. Did you put it on the wrong side?
Yeah. I'll fix it. Somehow.
Stay on this side of the table. There we go. So, I will keep on. And I think that it's always very nice to keep your loved ones and people that make a difference in your life in your prayers, especially when you go to sleep, because then you can have positive thoughts, and that helps you with sweet dreams in a time where it's hard to
because
see
your
people.
dreams are basically your thoughts.
Your dreams are your thoughts. That's good. And this way you can send positive energy and love to these people, because you never know, maybe one of these people is having a bad day, and because you sent your love to them, it will actually help them have a better one.
That'll work.
So, we've got Brooklyn, Liliana there, Johanna on there. So, and what else do you think you could do with these, Maverick? We said you could put them on the ceiling.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. You could also, we said you could put them on the tree. You could string them up and like hang them on your door or something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you could actually, if you punch the hole, and you could actually put a string through all of them, a ribbon through all of them, and they'd be all hanging. Or you know what you could do?
What?
You could make it like a garland, and you could put a string on the top and a hole on the top and a hole on the bottom, and string them all together and hang them on one big long piece. I really am very excited to see what everybody else is going to do with this, and be creative and figure out a way to display your stars. Make sure that you can see them, and make sure that you're always giving your love to those people by seeing their names and smiling, or saying something nice to their star. It kind of represents them.
Since
right
if you
now.
can't always see them in person.
And you can't always talk on the phone, because always there's so many people to talk to. You'd be on the phone like every single day, right? Be on the phone all day long. Of course, it's great. We have FaceTime and
Skype and all those Zoom, all the different things you can.
all those cool things with the internet that we can do. But I do like the idea of stringing them one after the other, like a long chain. It's cool. Who else might you make a star for? Oh, did you just finish one? Whose is that? Show that to the camera. Omi. Oh, you can see the one for Omi. So you can see how I have them on the hanger. And you can see that I can see all their names. I don't know if I need to show to this camera. You can see all their names there, and then their traits on the back, the things I love about them. And let's see, who else would I make one for? It says, don't see a lot, aren't able to see. I would probably say, I think it would be good to make one for Grandpa. Is that for Grandpa Dan?
No. You can make one, or do you want me to? I will.
So, I love these. You want to put yours on the ceiling though. You don't want a hole in them.
No, I do not want a hole.
I see Grandma Ruth needs to go on my string one. And I love this book by Debbie Glory because it's talking about no matter what, right? Right now we're saying no matter what, meaning no matter if I can't see you on Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Tuesday, no matter if I can't give you a hug or I always would, no matter if I can't see, Omi lives in Germany, so I have to fly to see her.
Or even your friends at school or other places.
Yeah, family members, right? It could be friends that are really close to you. We'd have to fly to Germany to see Omi, and we can't do that right now.
In person at least.
Yeah. Well, we do get to see her on the Skype.
Yeah.
Ruth, she lives in Oregon, so we'd have to drive to Oregon to see her, which we can't do right now. And she's 95, so we don't want to bring any germs to her. Right? But, it's also talking about, on Debbie Glory's book, it's also talking about no matter what, meaning no matter how things are going. So if you're having a hard time and you're just feeling upset, I know sometimes I'm having a day where I'm just feeling like nothing is working for me and everything just, I feel discouraged, or something's happening that's making me kind of angry. I'm sure you feel that way sometimes. And that's the time that in Debbie Glory is saying that no matter what, I love you. Egal was passiert, ich liebe dich. And that's really important because, even if Maverick's having a bad day, he's in the corner with a box.
Which I'm not.
It may have happened before. But
No.
usually it's a box.
No, but
He's
no.
in the corner in a box.
I just am in a box because it's a fort, so.
What's always good is to always say, you know what, no matter what, I'll always love you. Even if you were a squishy bug, even if you were a crocodile, even if you were all the way across the world and I couldn't get there to hug you, I still love you. Even if you were an 8-hour drive away, like Lily and Johannes are, I would, no matter what, I would still love you. Even if I can't say it every day, even if you don't hear my voice saying it, no matter what, I'll always love you. And then for your friend Tor, excellently good friends. That's a very good
now
idea.
I'm going to have to cut
You
some more
painted that one?
circles.
Turned out really great.
Yeah.
So you might think about in your life how things are going. If you're a kid, you might think, you know what? If you have a bad day, or if you're having a hard time, or if you're feeling angry about something, your mommy and daddy love you no matter what. But also, think about it. Sometimes maybe mommy or daddy might be having a bad day. I'm sure you've probably seen it, right? Mommy and daddy, or maybe mommy or daddy is maybe just not having a good day. Maybe they're down, or maybe they're acting like a squishy bug, or a crocodile, or a grizzly bear. That's the time when you can say, you know what, mommy, no matter what, I'll always love you, no matter what. Even though you're being a grizzly bear right now.
Yeah.
Because it does happen.
And maybe you can even give your star to them.
That is such a good idea. You know what's really cool you could do? You can make a star that you're going to keep for yourself, right? Like the Omi star is going to go up on the ceiling, so you can say, good night, Omi, gute Nacht, Omi. But what if you made a special star and sent it to that person? That's a cool idea, too. I like that.
And you can even tell them how to make their own for their friends.
Oh, Maverick, you're so smart. You can either make a little video, or you could write out the instructions, or have mom and dad write out the instructions. And you could send them a star and say, I made you this, and if you're feeling like you miss people, you could make one for them. Or if you want to make somebody feel good on a bad day, you could make them a star. I think that's a great idea. It's like we really thought of a lot of very good ideas from this book. In this idea, in this craft. Let's see. So I think we have still, what, 5 more minutes? So we can do, let's go over what we did. Let's go over one more time what we did. We took a cup. It doesn't have to be a plastic cup. This is what I had. It could be a glass from the cupboard or a roll of tape, whatever is a circle.
That
so
you like the size
girls,
of.
Finding a circle that fits on a paper. So obviously.
And that you can, like, not this circle from the glue stick. You can't put anything in there.
Yeah, it's a little too small, right? So a circle that's big enough, but not too big and not too small. Just right. And you trace around it with a pencil on a piece of paper. It doesn't have to be a white piece of paper. It could be any color piece of paper. This is thicker paper, like foam, like, I'm sorry, not foam, like cardstock. If you don't have that, that's totally fine. You can.
Arick is A-R-I-C-K, right?
A-R-I-K.
R-K.
A-R-I-K.
Yeah.
So you can use thicker paper or thinner paper, it doesn't matter. Then you're going to cut the circle out, right? And decorate your circle with whatever it is that you have on hand. Because again, I'm just using what I have on hand. You can use whatever you have on hand. And then you're also going to use whatever colored paper you've got. And you're going to take that same circle and trace it. Stand here. And then, of course, remember how to make the star, right? Do you remember how to make the star? I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera that I'm pointing at this moment. But you make a triangle. You go up, down like a triangle, back up to the left, across to the right, and back down to the last point that needs to be closed. And then you have a perfect star. And if you're looking at this camera, you can see it here. And then you're going to cut around the outline of the star, remember? And guess what? If your star doesn't look like my star or Maverick's star, that's all right, because everybody's star is what?
Unique.
Unique. Because everyone is unique, and your uniqueness is what makes us miss you so much. Your uniqueness is what makes us love you so much. People like you because you're you, not because you're anybody else, right? Then you've got your decorated piece.
Who are you doing now?
Who should I do? Should I do Grandpa Dan?
I was going to do that.
You want to do Grandpa Dan?
Yeah.
On a different one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what about people who are maybe no longer with us? Right? Maybe is somebody that you know that is maybe not here anymore. And you can put, I will put Grandma Deb. Because that's somebody I miss. And then I can hang that up and say, I love you, ich liebe dich, Grandma Deb. That will be fun, huh? Will be nice. And that may make you sad, but I think that it's more important to always put out your love for the people that aren't here anymore, that you might miss. And Maverick made another one for his friend Arick. And then you can hang them on the ceiling, remember? So when you're in bed and you can look up and say Gute Nacht, who we have here. Good night, Logan, Tor, Arick, Johannes, Omi, Grandma Deb, Liliana, Johanna, Brooklyn, Grandma Ruth, and soon to be Grandpa Dan here. And that is what who we will say Gute Nacht to. Or we'll hang them all on our hanger. Or remember what we said, string them all together, hang them on your Christmas tree, send them to your loved ones. Whatever you decide to do, I hope you have a lot of fun with this craft, making something to show people how much you love them and you miss them right now. Because no matter what happens, we love you.